today we are going to be doing another tutorial. Now I do want to talk for a second here about the inspiration of this tutorial. You see, I feel like Animal Crossing New Horizons is different than any other game we've had in the past. There's so much more freedom, so many more possibilities, so many different ways to create, and while it's wonderful, it can be really overwhelming. Lately, it feels like a lot of members of the community are experiencing a lot of pressure. Pressure to create elaborate forced perspectives, pressure to come up with complex designs and layouts, to be the most creative, to make city skylines. But the truth is, you don't have to do any of that. Animal Crossing was created like a choose-your-own storybook. You're able to play the game however you want to, have all the freedom you want, and the point of it is just for you to relax and have fun. All the pressure of trying to come up with new ideas all the time has left a lot of players experiencing burnout. Along with this, I've also noticed an increase of toxicity amongst the community. Now, luckily in the Crossing family, we haven't experienced as much toxicity as some other communities, but especially Animal Crossing Twitter and even the comment sections of some other YouTubers' videos, I've seen a lot of people just starting up fights for no apparent reason. So if there's one thing I want to say before we get started here, it's just, please choose kindness. This has been a stressful time for everyone, so try to empathize with others and think before you press send. Now that I've said everything I wanted to say, I'm going to be applying this message to the build. I started to play Animal Crossing way back on the GameCube. Now, in Animal Crossing population growing, you could not build, you could not terraform, you couldn't even place custom patterns on the ground. But it was still a fun game, because you were able to hang out with your villagers, relax, and it really felt like a special oasis. I'm in no way trying to say that I'm disappointed with New Horizons, because I really think it's a fun game and I love all the new options for creativity. But at times, it almost feels like an elaborate happy home designer. I don't know, personally, I found myself just spending days decorating and building and decorating and building and decorating and building, and then I realized I haven't talked to my villagers in a week. And there's nothing wrong with playing like this, and you're definitely not being forced to play this, but I feel that pressure, you know? Every time you open Instagram or Twitter or any social media and you see all these people with these amazing islands, you start to feel very insecure about your own island. But like I was saying earlier, you don't have to feel insecure. Your island is beautiful, and it's just a place for you to have fun with. Express yourself and express some of your favorite things. After spending hours and hours and hours researching maps of Venice and other famous cities and trying to think about places I could recreate in my town, I realized the place that means the most to me is Animal Crossing. Specifically the Wishing Well from Animal Crossing Population Growing. The Wishing Well in Animal Crossing Population Growing was like the resident services in New Horizons or the Town Hall in New Leaf. It was a central gathering point where the whole village could come together to throw parties, hang out, and just have a lovely time together. So today, in an effort to restore some of that nostalgia, we are going to be taking it way back to population growing. Now I did start to create a little border, so as you can see I have this 3-wide cliff where I just alternated between hardwood and cedar saplings. And then I have bushes between them and the log fences. This isn't really important, I honestly just wanted a nice background for the video. But here's where we're actually going to get started with the build. So right off the bat, if you'd like to recreate this area in your town, these are all the items I'm going to be using today. I will also have a list of all of these items in the description, and all the custom designs I use in today's video, I will have their maker addresses on the screen. So with all that being said, let's get right into the video. So I'm going to start off by going back into the corner here, and I'm just going to dig 2 blocks away from it. So I'm not going to go into this block, I'm going to use this block, right there. And the reason I'm going to do that is I want to plant a second tree right here, but I want this one to not be in line with that one. I want there to be like just a little bit of space between them, just so that it's not all in a straight line. I am also going to be changing up what types of trees I use just to make it seem more like a natural forest. So right here I'm going to plant a pear tree, and in the other hole I'm going to plant a cedar tree. Now I'm going to actually go ahead and stand in front of the tree here, and I'm going to lay down a couple of patterns. So I did actually download this dirt pattern that resembles the dirt from population growing, and I'm going to be using that. Oh no. If you've seen population growing before, you'll know what shape this is. There's kind of just like these weird asymmetrical patches of dirt in the game, and that's kind of what I'm trying to emulate with that. Then right in front of the dirt, I'm going to go ahead and plant one bush. Then I'm going to plant another bush here, and then just to kind of alternate and have like some different textures and make it look more natural, I'm actually going to alternate between bushes and hedges. So I'm going to place down 2 hedges, and then I'm going to place one bush between it, and then another bush here, and then one more bush below that bush. So in total you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bushes with 2 hedges in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. Then I'm going to go back again, and then right behind this bush I'm going to place down a paper lantern just to add a little light source in the evenings. Now that I have this outline, it's going to be a lot easier to create the overall cobblestone ring shape in the center of the plaza. So I'm just going to start in this corner and start creating this ring. With this tutorial, I think creating this cobblestone ring is probably the hardest part, so I'm gonna try to explain it really slowly. You have this like rectangle here, and then you put round corners on each side of the bush. Then when you have this little bit here, you're gonna stand right here and then place down one of the bottom corner. You see this, the bottom right corner. Place that down there, and then take one step up, and then place a flat one, like this. Then you're going to go up here, and you want to place another one of the top left corners. This top part here is actually going to feel really wrong because you can see the edge, and it's not like a smooth edge, it's like a weird sharp edge. You're not going to be able to see this when the build is done though, so just bear with me through this part. So you can see here we have the top right corner, then we have one path that's down on the side. I'm just going to clear it so you can see even better. It's the top left corners here, bottom right corner here, and this one is a filler bit, just so that you can get a better idea of how this path is laid down. So now I'm going to replace this one, and then one to fill in that empty spot. So as for this really weird jagged edge, we're actually going to open up Island Designer, and we're going to do a very small amount of terraforming. So right below this weird little stretch of cobblestone, you're going to create a 3x3 square of dirt. Then you're actually going to go below that and create another 3x3 square of cobblestone. Just like that. Now you want to continue the same pattern that we created over here on the right side. And this can be a bit confusing, just like maneuvering this like weird kind of rounded off pathway, but you can always just come back here for reference. You're pretty much just going to mirror the image on the other side. So now what I'd recommend doing is take out your shovel and just dig right here and right here. You're not actually going to be placing anything there right now, but just so that you don't get confused. And then right in front of the hole, I'm going to go ahead and plant a bush, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to plant one bush there as well. I just realized I used 2 different types of bushes, and that's bothering me more than it should, so I'm actually going to replace this one so that they are the same bush. It's kind of hard to tell because the bushes aren't in season right now, but I saw that the leaves were different. Oh my goodness, this one too. No, we cannot have this. Alright, so as I was saying, then right in front of these 2 bushes, you're just going to take out some stone fencing. And again, all of this is optional. You know, like this is your design. You can change and alternate things as you'd like, but this is just going to help me explain better for reference points. Now right in front of where this cobblestone wall is, you're going to place down one corner. So one corner like that kind of goes in, and do the same thing on this side. So for the right side, it's going to be a top left corner, like that. So it kind of like borders the little circle in the center as well. Then right in front of the center square, you're going to place a 2x2 path going down the bottom. So now you have this little path that is actually going to be like the front part of the plaza. So I'm actually going to go back here and connect all of this. So right in this spot, I'm going to place down one of the filler bits. Then directly in front of it, I'm going to place down a corner. Then we're going to go stand right here, and you're going to place down one more filler piece and one more corner. Then we're just going to repeat the same process on this side. Alright, so now you have completed your basic plaza shape. So it's just about decorating from here. So the very first thing I did is I actually recreated the same little bush frame from the left side on the right. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to place down my paper lantern. Now I'm going to place some little patches of dirt around it, and I'm going to change the shape because not every dirt is lopsided the same way as the one at the top is. So the bottom corner here, I'm going to place down just like a little dirt circle. So it's not quite as big as the patch at the top, but that's kind of how it was in the older game. It was just kind of like these really strange patches of dirt, and I'm still not really sure how they came up with the design, like with the little stripes and stuff in it. I don't know, but I like it. It looks good. In this top corner, I'm actually going to place another dirt circle, but I'm going to place it behind the bush. So I'm going to go right behind the bush, and I'm going to place the dirt pattern right here. Then I'm going to go back down to this corner, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Looks like there is a little bit of dirt from a previous terraforming job. We'll just get rid of that really quick. Down here, I'm going to create another one of the weird lopsided dirts. Now that I have that done, I can work a bit more on the central plaza. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dig one hole in this corner and one hole in this corner. So in each of these, I'm going to place a peach tree, and that's because this is my town fruit. So you can actually replace this with whatever your town fruit is. I just thought using peach trees would just be a nice little personal touch. Then in those holes behind the bushes that we dug out earlier, we're going to go ahead and plant 2 cedar trees. Now I'm just going to place like some little hedge standees. It kind of has a mind of its own. See, now I can't grab it. I need to push it, but I can't grab it. It's in the corners? No, not there either. Can I grab it? This hedge standee though. So it turns out placing the hedge standee down after the pine trees is borderline impossible. What I was trying to do is place it just right there at the edge of the peach tree. Just do that before you place down the cedar trees. Save yourself some trouble. So once you have the hedge standee where you like it, then you can go back and plant the cedar trees. And the hedge standee just kind of fills in the space and adds some more greenery to this little plaza. Now right in the center, we're going to place down the festive tree, which just kind of represents like the town tree from New Leaf, and just to me it represents some of the elements from the older games. I love how it lights up too, and it has like these little like light effects too, so you can see all the different colors. You could even change it and make it, I was gonna say you could change it to a Christmas tree during December, but you can definitely have fun with this little space of land. Whatever is the most meaningful thing to you, I guess you can display it here. Then in front of that, I'm just gonna go ahead and place down this fountain, and that's gonna represent the wishing well. So we're just gonna push that back, and there we go. Now just for a couple more little details, in population growing there were these signposts, and although you couldn't place custom patterns on the ground, you could place them on the signposts by the wishing well, and this was just kind of a way to showcase some of your designs. So I am gonna place down a couple of wooden shop signs to represent this. Then we're gonna place down one in this little patch of dirt. And I did actually go into Animal Crossing population growing and see exactly where each of these signs went in the original game. And although like I think every wishing well is probably a bit different, this is kind of how mine were laid out. There were exactly 4. These 2 were closer together for no apparent reason, and then this one was a bit lower than all the others. Also, this isn't perfectly centered in the circle, although it looks really nice. It was actually near the front tip of the circle like that. Now I just have to plant 2 more trees and we will be done. And that's basically the setup for the original Animal Crossing game plaza. Now of course you can change this entire design completely. I just hope that it offers some inspiration, maybe some ideas, or maybe even some nostalgia if you are familiar with the original game. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a lovely day, and remember to choose kindness. I will see you in the next video. Bye everybody!